The world had always watched in fascination as the conjoined twins, Lily and Lucy, grew up. Born bound together at the chest, they shared more than just a physical connection. They were bound by an unbreakable bond, one that only those who had lived as they did could truly understand. They had always been inseparable, their lives a constant rhythm of shared experiences, shared struggles, and, of course, shared secrets. But there was one secret that even their deepest connection couldn't keep hidden forever, a secret that had now come to light, and one that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. It had started when they were very young. As children, they were shielded from much of the world's harsh judgment, their parents protecting them with a fierce love that kept their lives relatively private. The girls had always felt like they had everything they needed in each other's company. They shared their thoughts, their dreams, and their fears, but there was always something they couldn't voice. It wasn't a malicious secret, but it was a truth that weighed heavily on them both. As they got older, the reality of their situation became more difficult to ignore. Lily and Lucy had always wondered, what would it be like to live separately? The thought had gnawed at them in private moments, but it was something they never dared to speak aloud. Living as conjoined twins had been a part of their identity, and the world saw them as one, despite the fact that, deep down, they yearned for the chance to experience life as two separate individuals. Their dreams often diverged, with each twin imagining a life beyond the other, but the fear of hurting the one they loved more than anyone kept them silent. As the years passed, they became more adept at hiding their growing dissatisfaction with their situation. They went through the motions of their daily lives, supporting each other with unwavering devotion, but there was an undercurrent of resentment that they couldn't shake. They loved each other deeply, but they also felt trapped. Trapped in a body that wasn't entirely theirs, trapped in a life that wasn't their own. They had each other, yes, but they also had the constant reminder that they would never truly know what it was like to be free, to be fully independent. The turning point came when they were in their late teens. The twins had always been close, but there was a growing divide between them as they matured. While Lily had always been the more adventurous twin, dreaming of traveling the world and experiencing new things, Lucy had always been more grounded, more content with the life they had. She had never fully understood Lily's desire to be free from their conjoined existence, and the tension between them began to grow. It was during one heated argument, fueled by a long-buried frustration, that the truth finally spilled out. "I can't do this anymore, Lucy," Lily had said, her voice trembling with emotion. "I can't keep pretending that this is enough. I want to be my own person. I want to have my own life, my own dreams. I want to be free." Lucy had stared at her sister, her eyes wide with shock and hurt. "But we're in this together, Lily. We always have been. How can you even think about leaving me behind?" Lily's words had cut deeper than she intended. "I'm not leaving you behind, Lucy. I'm just trying to figure out who I am outside of us. I need something that's just mine." The silence that followed was deafening, the weight of their shared history pressing down on both of them. They had never spoken those words aloud before, and now that they had, the consequences seemed too heavy to bear. It was as if the fragile balance they had maintained for so long had shattered, and the reality of their situation became too much to bear. For the first time, they truly confronted the fact that they could never escape the bonds that tied them together. No matter how much they wanted different things, no matter how much they ached for the freedom that others took for granted, they were stuck with each other forever. The admission weighed heavily on both of them. In the weeks that followed, they tried to reconcile their feelings, to make peace with the fact that they would never live the lives they had imagined. But it was impossible to erase the truth from their minds. They could never forget the way they had felt in that moment, the longing for separation, the desire for independence, the fear that their love for each other was somehow holding them back from becoming the people they were meant to be. What haunted them the most was the realization that they would never be able to undo the hurt they had caused each other. The unspoken truth that had been buried for so long had now been brought to light, and there was no turning back. No matter how hard they tried to move forward, no matter how much they loved each other, they could never escape the shadow of that moment. They would carry it with them for the rest of their lives, the weight of their admission hanging over them like a constant reminder of the one thing they could never change, the fact that they were conjoined twins, bound together in a way that neither of them could ever fully escape. As they lay awake that night, the silence between them felt heavier than ever before. They had opened a door they could never close, and the consequences of that admission would haunt them forever.